Everybody has heard that Rich Piana clip where he's saying, if you want to get bigger, you can eat more. That's what he says. Simple. That is the clip. And today I'm going to break down the 5 simple step process on how you could get bigger. I find this is the easiest way, and I think this really sets the grounding of how you could get bigger. All right, so let's get into it, right? I'm going to give you guys 5 tips. 3 of them are going to be do more of, and 2 of them are going to be do less of. So we're going to start with the do less of, coming up with number 1, do less addiction. Now, what do I mean by addiction? That nicotine crap, that smoking weed crap, whatever, drop it. Drop it. You're addicted to alcohol, you gotta find a way to drop it. Drinking alcohol lowers your testosterone, scientifically proven to. Eating or smoking weed, stuff like that, is going to make you eat a ton of crap. It'll make you stupid hungry. That's scientifically proven as well, that smoking weed will make you hungry. And typically when you're hungry, if you're just chilling around, you're probably not going to go grab healthy food that you need to get bigger. You're going to go grab crap that's going to make you bigger, not bigger. You see what I'm saying? So you need to do less of the addiction. You need to get rid of that nicotine vape. That could be also, that vape could be killing your appetite. That vape could be lowering your test too. I don't know the scientifics behind the vape, but I'm saying any addiction really that isn't like gym related probably needs to go. I'm going to be honest with you. If you want to get bigger, those addictions are going to need to go out the window. Now, something else that you need to do less of is procrastination, bro. If you say that you're going to go to the gym and do this, you need to go to the gym and do this. That's end of discussion. And when you're in the gym, I see so many people, they're like, all right, now I'm going to move on to this exercise, whatever. And they pick up their phone and they start typing away on their phone. They're going to be watching TikToks while they're lifting. You need to do less of that, less procrastination. You need to put the phone down. I'll recommend to people, put your phone on silent, right? So the only time you pick up your phone is to change the song. That's really the only time you should pick up your phone. The only time I would say you even need to video your sets is if it's the last, like if you're just training for bodybuilding, video the last set so you can see yourself going to failure, and then maybe you can post it on Instagram, whatever. Honestly, you don't need to video every single set that you do. You know what I'm saying? If you are doing back downs, you're not doing powerlifting top sets, you're doing back downs, you're doing accessories, you're doing bodybuilding movements, put that damn phone down, record the last set if you need to do that, and do less of procrastinating. You say you're going to do this exercise, go and do the exercise. Now, here's a good time where you actually could pick up the phone, right? Because I know a lot of people will be like, man, I can't just not look at my phone for an hour. If you push yourself hard enough to the fact where you feel a crazy pump, like a pump that is like, you can't even move, like lock your arm out. You're doing biceps, you really can't even lock your arm out. That is a perfect time. Open up your phone, grab the timer, hit 8 minutes, because basically, if you are super, super pumped and like you can't even move your arms, like you can't even feel your biceps contracting because you're so pumped, that's kind of limiting the amount of gains that you could get. I don't know the full scientifics of that, but I know the basics of it. So what you can do is pick up your phone. If you are so pumped like that, this probably could happen once a workout, I'm not even going to lie. Pick up your phone, 8-minute timer, do whatever you need to do on your phone. Just chill, let your arms come back, try to stretch around, right? If you're really pumped, you're not going to be less pumped if you just sit here like this, looking at your phone. Move your arms around, stuff like that. And then once that 8-minute timer goes off, the phone goes away. Less of procrastination. Boom, period. All right, moving on to the more of. The first more of that we have. More of sleep. You need to sleep more. I don't care. Like, it is just as important as eating. Sleeping more is just as important as eating. I don't know who said that like you can bodybuild off of sleeping just like 5-6 hours a day. Listen to some of the old Ronnie Coleman podcasts where he had to sleep 6 hours. He could only sleep 6 hours. He was working a full-time job. He said that was the one thing that was like holding him back some of the time, was not being able to sleep enough. So if you are in that position where you can get to bed, which I guarantee most of you are. The only reason that Ronnie Coleman could only sleep 6 hours is because he was doing cardio for 2 hours after he got off of his shift, and then he was making all his food, and then he had to do cardio. Like, the dude literally lived it. I guarantee most of you guys probably aren't living it to the Ronnie Coleman standard. And if you are living it to the Ronnie Coleman standard, well, maybe the sleep. But the sleep helps you grow, especially if you're younger. If you are under 21, 22 years old, you need 8-9 hours of sleep. I would push it to 9 hours of sleep is what you should be aiming for, because 8 hours of sleep isn't always you just lay down and fall asleep, right? If you're like, all right, I'm gonna set my alarm for 8 hours from now, you lay down, you're probably gonna move around for half an hour, you're probably gonna wake up and go to the bathroom, right? That's all time off of your sleep. And so I'd say you really need to be asleep for 8 hours. So unless you could just set that timer and go straight to bed, I would say aim for 9 hours of sleep. And this is especially the case if you're trying to get stronger, if you're not just trying to get bigger, but you're trying to get stronger too, because your strength will be the best when you are sleeping and you're under the optimal conditions, right? All right, we're gonna move on to the next more of, you need to do more eating. Surprise, I said it, Rich Piana was correct. You do need to do more eating. But when you eat more and you're trying to get bigger, you need to watch a little bit of what you eat. Now, I just made a video. Does McDonald's make you bigger? Yes. But understand that Ho-Hos and Twinkies will not make you bigger. Surprise, it will not just go straight into the bicep. That will go straight into the belly. So when you are eating, you need to eat more of the whole food. Surprise, I said whole foods. Wow, I'm so anti-whole food. No. But seriously, when you're eating, you need to find the big foods. If you're eating hamburgers, cheeseburgers, try to look for more of the meat, right? If you want to eat a cheeseburger because you're bulking, whatever, make it a triple cheeseburger instead of 3 cheeseburgers. Do you see what I'm saying? Because when you make it a triple cheeseburger, you're getting more of that protein. That beef is what you want. The bun is just to make it taste better. You know what I'm saying? That's really just some light carbs. Or if you want to carb up, I'd rather eat pasta than just eating a cheeseburger. You know what I'm saying? But if you're eating a cheeseburger, you're doing it for the protein, the calories, everything like that. Boost the stuff that you want in there. You want the cheese. You want the patties. Get a triple cheeseburger. Don't just get 3 cheeseburgers. You see what I'm saying? So small things like that. Look how you can overload on like the whole food, or how you can overload on the parts of the food that you want. So eat more food, but eat more of the parts of the food that you need. Right? You need the beef. You want the mass. Eat more meat. Eat more of the healthier stuff. Honestly, and make sure you're eating your vegetables. Eat more vegetables. And then drink more milk too. Drink more milk. That is very, very simple. And then my last do more of, to complete my 5 steps, the 2 do less, the 2 do more, and now my last do more of is do more failure exercises. I see so many people say, oh, I'm training till failure. What do you mean? Like, yeah, bro, oh, yeah, and then they just put it down and they go look at their phone. Like, no, bro, that's not how you train to failure. If you want to train to failure, you want that maximum mind-muscle connection. And I just started really picking up on this now, probably about a year ago, I'd say, and I probably just took it even to the next level recently. Doing exercises to failure is, when you're doing exercises to failure, that means failure. You need to find a way to manipulate the exercise that you're not, because if you're, basically I'm going to put it this way. If you're able, so many people are able to do tricep push-downs and they're able to just keep on going and going and going. But typically they're able to keep going because they get on maybe on top of it, or they swing back a little bit and they can use some back. I'm not saying don't do cheat reps, but find a way that you can manipulate any of the lifts so you can keep going while working the tricep, because there gets a point when you're cheating the rep enough that it's just not even working anymore. And so the same thing goes for me in bicep curls. I just realized that while I was doing bicep curls, I was always leaning over. And so my failure, I'd be squeezing, but I'd be going here. What I realized was when I needed to train more to failure, right? I was going to failure like this, but I wasn't growing, right? I couldn't figure out why can I not grow? Once I started realizing going to failure and leaning back instead of leaning forward, I think that blew my arms up recently. That was a huge tip, right? And I was starting to be able to go to more failure in my arm. I was able to target the bicep more and go to failure more in the bicep than my whole entire body working for it. You know what I'm saying? So do more failure set and find what you can do to make it more of just a targeting muscle group. You see what I'm saying? So on that bicep curls, if you're doing failure, but you're just doing like this, if you could get failure and you can get it, you could lean back a little bit, I'd say that works great. And so many people are like, oh, you're going to blow your back out that way. honestly, typically when I'm going to failure on like a straight bar or something, or even just like dumbbells, bro, it's 50 pounds. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I'm not going to blow my back out. Knock on wood. I don't think I'm going to blow my back out, you know, even if I had 50 pounds and I was leaning like this, you know what I'm saying? So, but find what works for you and take it to failure. Find the way to isolate that muscle and take it to failure. Do more failure. It's a very simple, this video is very simple, right? We had the 5 steps. Less addiction. Shoot, I can't even remember. All right, but more sleeping, more eating, more training to failure, less addiction. Oh, and less like taking time off sets, like whatever I said, like with the phone thing, whatever. But simple. It's a simple 5-step process if you want to get bigger. The simple 5-step process to making you bigger. That's the way I'm going to title this video. Literally, simple 5-step process. Less procrastination. I just started. But seriously, simple 5 steps, how to get bigger. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Send me a DM on Instagram for coaching, power building, powerlifting, bodybuilding. I'm taking them all. So go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Blake was signing out. Peace.